The Guam Election Commission didn't expect a large voter turnout for the special election, and just as expected, it appeared as if very few showed up to cast their votes. In fact, Executive Director John Blas says it was just a 17% voter turnout.
The voters felt, at least with a few of them, felt that it was a waste of money. So, again, perhaps it could be that it's not a process for to fill one seat versus when we come up with our primary election, we're going to have all the elected offices up, the senatorial, the gubernatorial.
The Pacific News Center visited a number of voting places throughout the afternoon and found many of the sites were pretty quiet. And even despite the expectations of a low voter turnout, the Guam Election Commission was required to hold the election to fill the vacancy left by Matt Rector, who recently resigned from the legislature.
In determining that there was a vacancy in the legislature as a result of former Senator Matt Rector's resignation, Guam law required us to conduct a special election to fill that vacancy. So with the Guam election, and although we felt that there were other processes, probably other options, our election law requires us to fill that vacancy.
The Guam Election Commission had stated that it would cost up to $150,000 to pay for this election. So we asked voters today if they thought it was necessary to hold a special election, or if they thought it would be okay to wait for the primary.
Do you think that maybe they should have decided to not hold the special election and wait just for the primary, or do you think this is necessary to have this election?
That's a hard question because it's concerning financial. So financially, no, but politically, I think it should be done, but at probably a different process.
Personally, I think that all representation is good, no matter what. And being that there was a seat vacated, the people needed to speak out and for their voice to be heard, to see who they wanted in for this seat is merited. Whether there was some angles down the line that could have steered us away from the special election, that would have been up to the legislative body now and/or the election commission. And the election commission did speak out and say that their hands were tied and that was it. So anything else would have been done on the legislative end, but they proceeded with it. And representation is good in any event, so I think it was merited.
It's kind of slow, but we're picking up by the end of the day.
Do you think that maybe we should have postponed or held off the election?
Well, but the Guam Election Commission is the one that make those decisions on the board. But I should see that we should just pick up the last one on the general election, the number 16, instead of the, just coming to the special election at this time.
I see it as with the turnout here, we have a lot of the dedicated voters coming in since 7 o'clock this morning. People were already waiting for the polls to open. So things have been going smoothly. They've been coming in and out. It's a great turnout. I know that the legislature right now, even with just 14, they're functional. And it would have been good if we had waited. We would have saved money or else used the money for other things that are needed, like for the youth out in the community and school. The education system needs the funding. It could have been put to better use.